Stop talking about my Cowboys, man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I
usually don't allow anybody to interrupt my opening monologue. But if you can't tell, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. One of the biggest superstars ever in the world of sports, a 4-time NBA champion, a league MVP, the most dominant force we have seen in our modern day era, if not our lifetime, the one and only Shaquille O'Neal. Yo, man, those are some expensive glasses. That head is too big. Don't stretch my glasses, man.
I got it. Damn, you can't see.
Why we got to go like that? Why are you being so disrespectful on my show? Oh, my goodness.
You got the Cartier joints?
Yes, okay, you got to tell them my business, too. I mean, everybody didn't know it was Cartier. Could have been Burberry. Could have been anything, man.
What's happening?
Can I do my opening right here? Can I get this out of the way, please? Right. The Stephen A. Smith Show, not the Shaquille O'Neal Show. The Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought to you by Credit Karma. Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. That's Credit Karma, Karma. And also it's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. What's going on, big boy? How are you, man?
Good.
You all right?
You waking me up at 1 o'clock?
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that's waking you up?
I don't know.
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I don't get up to 3:30.
How long do you stay up until?
Don't worry about all that.
I got to.
Don't worry about what I be doing.
I didn't ask you when you get up. Okay, you volunteered, so if you're going to volunteer that, how come you can't tell us when you're going to sleep?
Don't worry about all that.
Well, listen. One of the reasons that you here is to promote Zepa.
Yes.
You understand? Cure snoring now.
Cure snoring.
Dr. Jonathan Greenberg, listen, he's my doctor too. The man that's phenomenal, who's done a great job for me to help me with my snoring. But how are we going to get into your snoring if you don't want us to tell you don't want to tell us when you go to sleep?
Oh, I go to sleep, but I'm just saying I don't like getting up at 11, 12. Bro, you know how far I live from here?
How?
I live far.
How far? Why you move so far away from ATL?
McDonough, Henry County.
So why you move that far away?
I'm just saying because I got acres out there. Just like you got acres in New Jersey.
Why are you telling that? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, Shaquille O'Neal.
But yeah, Zepa, it's Happy Z spelled backwards.
Okay.
And I see a lot of big guys out there, like that big guy in the front on the phone. I know you snore, big dog. So my advice is if you snore, go check it out because, you know, a lot of times when you snore and you have sleep apnea, you stop breathing that night. Right. And that causes a lot of other problems, like, you know, heart problems, hypertension. So it's really a life or death situation. So at first I kind of ignored it too, but once I met Dr. Greenberg, and because I met him through Instagram, and he said, "Do you want to die?" And I'm like, "What? I'll knock your ass out. Who you talking to like that?" He's like, no, come to my side. I came in his office, and, you know, he showed me all the studies, and you know, because he saw all the people, well, you know, Sharif, you know, putting me on Instagram, snoring all. He's like, hey, you need to take care of that. So everybody out there, check out Zepa and, you know, fix your snoring and make sure you go see a physician because it really is a life or death situation.
And listen, it ain't just one of those advertisements or whatever. We're being very, very serious because I use the same doctor myself and I use the same device myself because what happens is, for those of you who don't know, when you're snoring, your tongue is basically falling back. It's relaxed and it's falling back in your throat. As a result, it's blocking your breathing passages. So not only are you not breathing, you're not getting oxygen to the necessary organs, particularly in your brain. And as a result, it can compromise you even if you do wake up, and we got to hope and pray that you will. If you snore and you don't do anything to treat it, you got to remember it's really debilitating you to such a degree that you ain't anywhere near 100%. Obviously, that's not your problem anymore.
No, not anymore. So
right.
Ever since I met Dr. Greenberg, I'm nice.
All right.
I might come back. All this money they passing out to these bums in the NBA.
All right. So would you? I mean,
I may come back.
Why you? Saying. You know, some people will look at you and they go like this. Damn, Shaq, why you got to be like that, man? Everybody can't be you. Everybody can't be dominant like that. Everybody can't dominate the NBA landscape like you.
I'm just saying, I'm so jealous of some of these contracts that's coming out.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If you were Anthony Davis and they're offering you 5 for $240, would you leave?
No.
And you can only get 209 somewhere else?
I would say this to you. I would
Man,
say this.
Hell no.
I would say to you, no. That is true. And for those, let me tell a little history about you. You were once in Orlando.
Yep.
You were going to go to Los Angeles, which you ended up doing, but you made sure Jerry West and Dr. Buss knew, look, you got to come up on them funds. You want me to depart from Orlando to come to L.A., and they found those necessary funds for you at that particular moment in time, right?
That's business.
That's business.
So in Orlando, they offered me one price. L.A. offered me another price. I just took care of business. Mm-hmm. But if you can get the most playing, you know, staying with the team, man, I'm staying.
So what is that? So what
240 for 5?
That's right. But what about those?
What is that for all you smart people out there?
240 for five.
Somebody
You know
do the
what I'm
math
saying? I mean, do the math. It's over $40 million a year. It's around $48 million.
Wow.
It's around $48 million.
I'm keeping that money.
No question
in
about it.
New Orleans, because listen, $40 million in New Orleans is different than $40 million in L.A.
L.A. That's right. The taxes in L.A. You take in the federal income tax and you add state income tax. That's about 51% of your dollars right there. Let me be clear. I already did that math.
And you forgot one person.
What's up?
FICA.
Oh. We don't even know what the hell FICA is still. We grown men.
Yeah, I don't know.
And adult women. But let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Because when we talk about Anthony Davis, and we'll get into the Super Bowl and all of that stuff. Listen, we in the ATL Super Bowl 53. It's this Sunday night, New England versus the Los Angeles Rams. We'll get into all of that in a second and as the show progresses. But you know what? Listen, you can wave all you want to. You on the show with me, man. Focus, okay? Here's the deal. I can get on Shaq like that. That's my brother. I can do that.
You didn't even see that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Where your glasses at? See? You got to pay attention, man. See, I gave you the fake out move and Bob took the card. See, you wouldn't have never even known.
So you're a thief.
See, I'm not a thief.
Okay.
That's not stealing.
Let me ask you, Dr. Fine. Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
Anthony Davis talking about going to L.A. What are the advantages in your estimation? I understand what the disadvantage is because you just brought up the money, the 5 year for $240 million he could get from New Orleans right now. If he went to L.A., obviously it wouldn't be that much. What are the advantages for him going to L.A. with LeBron in this day and age?
Definitely more TV games.
Okay.
More exposure. More wins.
Okay.
A possibility of winning a championship, but in my personal opinion, I still don't think they have enough for Golden State. Mm-hmm. Now, if you add Kyrie to that makes it a little bit more exciting, but listen, it's a bigger market. The nightlife is better. Everything's better.
What about the endorsement opportunities to make up for what you left behind in New Orleans? Some would make that argument.
Well, listen, if I can get that plus listen, if you a bad boy, you're going to get the endorsements wherever you are, right? Mm-hmm. Just because you go to L.A. don't mean you're going to get more endorsements. Mm-hmm. You may get certain opportunities like, movie roles and, stuff like that, but you really ain't gonna be able to make that 240 up. 240 for 5.
240 for 5 years. Oh,
what's the math on that again?
Are you ready for about 48? And not only that,
40 what?
About 48. But do you remember this? Do you realize this? If he were to stay,
yes,
not just through this season, but through next season, do you know he could sign for 6 years at over $300 million, becoming the first $300 million player in history in New Orleans? Did you realize that?
I didn't know that. And you want to leave that? I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere.
But he ain't going to win playing at the Smoothie King Arena.
Hey, sometimes you just have to listen. I learned this from you. You told me if you want to be great and want to be going down as great as you got to step up to all the challenges. Mm-hmm. That's it. So if you're not going to win. Learn how to win. You get on the phone and, get people to come play with you. But I'm not turning down the 240. But it's not me, that's him. I wish him well.
When we sit here and we look at the NBA landscape as we speak, it seems to be Golden State and everybody else. And once upon a time, I had a lot of faith in the Lakers. Now I'm obviously not so sure. I will say this. Oklahoma City has shocked the living hell out of me. Paul George looks like a superstar. We know what Russell Westbrook can bring to the table. And the fact that everybody seems to know their job and know their role seems to be something that's working for them. You don't consider OKC or anybody else in the West a threat to Golden State?
I do consider them a threat. But, listen, Golden State has been there. They've done that. They've dominated. You added another piece that's hungry to win the championship. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a tough series. However, like if you ever get in one of those series where Russell can be dominant and Paul can be dominant at the same time, you never know. It could, may turn out to be a hell of a series. But Golden State, they just have too many weapons. They have a lot of weapons where their top guys don't have to have great nights for them to win.
Anybody in the East can challenge Golden State. Toronto, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly.
Not yet. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
I think Boston can.
Well, Boston has to play right. They're obviously having some internal problems. The young guys are not happy with their roles because it's like, hey, we can play too. So
and Gordon Hayward, they tried to reingratiate Gordon Hayward back into the mix. I think he's compromised them to some degree. Not no disrespect to him. He was a nasty injury, has to come back. I think he'll be much better next year, but he just ain't ready now to run with those thoroughbreds.
I agree.
So to me, why is Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens insisting on playing the man? Because you gave him $131 million?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yep.
Does that make you think Toronto can take the East?
Listen, Kawhi Leonard is a bad boy. I've always said he was the second, third best player in the league. He's definitely a bad boy. But the missing link there is Kyle Lowry. He always seems to, disappear during the playoffs. So hopefully this year, this will be his year. And I like Kyle. I want to, see him doing well. But a lot of times in the playoffs,
it's small.
You don't hear from him.
Yeah, no question. Shaquille O'Neal right here with Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. So when we look at, before I get on to you, when we look, get off my comb, man. You don't need it. You ain't got no hair. You don't got any hair. Okay, here's the deal.
I have a question.
What?
If I get a man weave, would you talk about me?
Yes.
But just like little waves.
I would talk about you.
Why?
I would talk about you. Because what the hell you need it for? You got a big head.
Because I want my hair back, man.
Look, what you trying to do? Be primetime Deion Sanders?
No, just wait. I want to look.
Are you ready for this?
That?
Can I tell you?
Where my man at?
Listen,
right there.
Listen, man.
My man right there in the Steelers.
I hear you.
Yeah, I want my beard,
Are you ready for this? Are you
yeah.
ready for this? I got something to tell you.
Yep.
Because it's going to make you laugh at me. You're probably going to call me out about it.
You got a man weave?
Do you know I'm thinking about going to hair club for men or something? Wherever Deion Sanders went to get the hair done.
I just seen him. He looked beautiful right now. He looked really good.
I'm thinking about it. I'm like this. How the hell he go from being bald to all that hair on his head? I'm considering it, man.
Yeah, but with the man weave, you can have your joint done in about 3 hours.
No, I want no man weave. I want my own stuff growing back, man.
Have you seen it? They put they put like the super glue jammy and then they fade around. It look real. I'm gonna do it.
Really?
And you better not say that.
You just haven't tried. Please.
I'm gonna do it this summer.
Stop. You lying.
This summer.
You lying. Why would you do that? You don't need it.
I want my hair back.
Why? What's going on? Are you having a midlife crisis that you want to tell us about?
Actually, I am.
Why? Why?
Listen, I'm always on the gram. So at first I was
You're rich, you're famous, and you call yourself big sexy all the time.
Listen.
So what's the problem? You were lying about the confidence?
I'm on the gram, and I seen the man weave the process how he did, and the dude came out looking good. I was like, you know what? I want that, and I'm gonna get it. And you better not say nothing. I'm telling you right now.
Of course I'm gonna say something, Shaq. Of course I'm gonna say something.
I'm gonna do it.
You know what? I'm gonna leave it alone because you got some nerves telling me not to talk about you when you always try to. This man, Shaquille O'Neal, ladies and gentlemen, reaches out to me at least once a week trying to coax me into talking about somebody. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. He's always saying, "Get on him, get on him." Let's
do it right now.
Say, no,
I got 100,000 right now. If you do it right
No. I'm not gonna do it.
Can y'all guess what we talking about?
Dwight Howard. Oh Lord.
Oh, stop! See, get out of here with that. No, that wasn't
leave it alone.
No, I don't.
$100,000. Shaquille O'Neal. That's you. It wasn't me. No. It was you. You always try to get me to talk about. I'm leaving it alone.
No, I don't.
Leave it alone.
Don't believe that, America.
Listen, here's the question. In all seriousness, we watch a great show on television at least twice a week. In Shaquille O'Neal, with Charles Barkley, with Kenny Smith, with the great, incomparable Ernie Johnson. What's that been like for you, man?
It's been fun. Thank you for coaching me every now and then. But, what makes that show great is they allow us to utilize our humor.
Mm-hmm.
We figure if we're going to keep you up at 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, we want to make you laugh. Charles going to say what he wants to say. I'm going to do something crazy. And I just think it's a great dynamic for us.
I swear to you, in all the years I've known you, I have never in my life seen you laugh harder than you laugh when Charles Barkley starts talking about them women in San Antonio. I mean, you can't help yourself. You won't. You always egg them on too. It's just unbelievable. I mean, Charles Barkley. The only time that Charles Barkley almost fell out my chair, he was talking about the women in San Antonio, and he said Victoria is a secret. That's what he said. I almost choked on my Crunchberry cereal when I heard that one.
Then he said, they don't wear drawers, they wear bloomers.
He's ridiculous. Charles is crazy. But I'm saying, looking at your career, and I mean, what commercial don't you have?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea what we're talking about. You do everything.
No,
you do everything. You're all over the place.
I'm not. Stop it.
Really?
I'm not.
Really? Have you thought about slowing down? When you gonna slow it down and fade into the sunset like some of these athletes swear they want to do?
Look, I'm already retired. I'm just happy to be in the place where I'm at, and I owe it all to my mother and dad. They always told me coming up, just listen, be respectful, and be nice. And look, I just love where I'm at right now. But if it does go away, I had a nice run, and I'm very educated. I have things to fall back on. And my thing now is just helping people, and that's why I teamed up with Zipa, because you don't want to see people have problems from snoring. So My mother always told me, make them remember your name, and I just want to make people smile and make people happy and make people laugh.
You've always been like that. I've always marveled at that about you. You got a great personality. You like to laugh and tell jokes, make people smile. But you damn sure weren't that way on the court.
Oh, no.
You were dominant on the court
Yes,
now and didn't like a lot of people and just would abuse them on purpose. Yes. A matter of fact, you admitted that you lied on a couple of people just to get an attitude about them and to destroy them on purpose. Why would you do something like that, Shaq?
Because David Robinson was my favorite guy. When I was in high school, I tried to pattern a little bit of my game out. Because, David liked to run like a stallion. When I was young, I used to like to run. But he was too nice for me to beat up. So I just had to made up that he didn't give me an autograph so I could be mad and just try to destroy him. And I did.
Yes. But didn't it bother you that you were on the court with him knowing you had lied on him and had everybody thinking that the Admiral was some disrespectful dude to little kids going to come up?
Every time I used to play against GP always used to do this. You know what that means?
What?
I mean, when I turn around with the elbow, I'm trying to knock all your teeth out. I want your whole mouth bloody. That's how I played.
That's how you play?
Yeah.
Do you feel or do you lament the fact that you don't see that in today's game with most of these players? Or do you think the league has stripped the players of that menacing persona about themselves because, obviously to keep the game all safe and everything like that?
Kenny made an interesting point.
Kenny?
Kenny Smith made an interesting point. He said that a lot of guys are products of their environment. So, for example, when I was growing up, I'm watching Ewing, Robinson, and Keaton, guys that played inside. So when I started playing inside, guys start, fading out to bring me out of the paint. So a lot of guys, they grew up watching Kevin, Tim, Dirk, and all these guys. So that's how they practice, and that's how they played. So I think, the days of the dominant post are pretty much done.
But what about the persona? Like, for example, I'm looking at a guy like LeBron, and, obviously he's considered the best in the world, but he get along with everybody. Whereas you had cats back in the day, whether it was you, even to a lesser degree, Kobe and others, y'all weren't trying to get along with people. Y'all were trying to destroy them. What does veterans, retired guys, Hall of Famers, champions like yourself feel about the culture of today's modern day athlete?
I mean, obviously it's different, and the culture all around is definitely different. And I try not to really mock the young fellas because they're doing it their way. And I remember when I came in, I did it my way. Like a lot of guys thought I was out of my mind when I was doing movies and doing rap albums and all that stuff. So I try to stay out the guys, but the difference is LeBron, he does like everybody, but he competes at a high level. I think people enjoy watching him play, so I think it's okay. But
why did you just sit here and lie to the American people? You just finna say you don't mock people. What? Shaq and the Fool is one of the funniest things on television.
That
ain't
me.
Mocking people.
That's them.
That's you.
That is
it
them.
doesn't work without you. If you're not mocking them, no. That's you.
Listen, they make the mistake. It's going to be on social media.
And you highlight it. And you highlight it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all a funny story about one of the Shaq and the Fool. My favorite Shaq and the Fool moments.
The Otto Porter joint.
Otto Porter is playing for the Washington Wizards. He is playing defense. He is on the right wing. And on the Shaq and the Fool moment, evidently he forgot that he was on a basketball court defending somebody. The dude he was guarding ran all the way from the right, all the way to the left link, and Otto was just standing there the whole time. So Shaq is laughing, and you know what made it so bad? You could hear Ernie Johnson screaming in the background laughing, and Kenny Smith, who's just the epitome of decorum. We got to see that again. That was you. You did that.
It wasn't me. It was them.
That was you. That wasn't you.
They make the mistake, and I just re-show it to America.
To how many times?
A lot.
Is it not a hit show?
A lot. Yeah,
is it not a hit show?
It is. It's a hit show.
It's good to see you, big boy.
Nice to see you.
Zipa, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Greenberg's right over there. Come on over here for a second, sir. Let's see this man on television here, helping to cure me of my snoring, Shaq of his snoring. It's good to see you, buddy. How you doing? How's everything right here? Dr. Greenberg, for those of you who don't know, check out Zipa. Happy Z spelled backwards. He's right here with Stephen A. and your boy Shaq. You know what? I don't let anybody come on the first segment of my show, particularly sit in and steal my thunder. You know I don't do that. I made an exception for you.
Thank you. And you have a great-looking audience, too, by the way.
They do look good.
Yes, you guys
they do look good.
Yep.
They do look good. You know, I see the rings and stuff like that. I like that.
Who you like in the Super Bowl?
I'm going with the Patriots.
Okay, cool.
I might change my mind by tomorrow, but I'm leaning towards there.
Is Tom Brady the GOAT?
I have to give credit where credit is due.
If he loses, is he still the GOAT?
I think he still is.
All right, I'm
9
just
Super Bowls, 5
checking.
championships. I don't know what the hell Max was talking about, saying if he loses, you count against him and all that stuff. I wasn't buying that.
Hello? Yeah, this is Tex Johnson. Let me talk to Steven.
Stop it. Trying to pretend to be a Cowboy fan. Why would you call up to defend the Cowboys?
I'm a Cowboys fan. I've always been a Cowboys fan. Stop it. Stop it.
Really?
Yes. When I was young, I wanted to be Ed Too Tall Jones.
Doc, let me tell you something.
Yes,
I want you to say it when I say this to
Cowboys
this
fan.
man, because I swear to God, if I was big enough, I'd put him to sleep myself.
Who's your team anyway?
Steelers.
The Giants?
Steelers.
Where you from?
New York. I'm a diehard Steelers. The first football game I ever saw was the Immaculate Reception by Franco Harris.
You didn't see that game.
Yes, I did. I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old. So you can remember stuff with your mom and dad, but I can't?
Okay, you're right. My bad.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What was the score of that game?
I don't remember.
Yeah, see?
I don't remember.
Got him.
I don't remember. But I remember the Steelers won the game.
All right, cool.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
All right?
got
By
it.
the way, I need to talk to you about because I need some jewelry because I like the
got you.
jewelry you be wearing. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate the help with the snoring. Happy Z spelled backwards. Zeepa. That's the product that obviously has got Shaq getting some nice, productive sleep. What?
I didn't know that we had a celebrity sitting in the. Turn the camera around to the dude with the Charlotte jersey on.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Stephen D. Smith? Stephen D. Smith?
Nope.
That's what he is?
Nope, Delonte West. Delonte West, what up, boy?
That's better. 16 years in the National Football League, 14 of them with the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the premier linebackers the game of football has ever seen, and one and only James Harrison is on the line with yours truly right now. What's going on, James? How are you, man? How's everything?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being on. Always good to talk to you. Talk to me about this game right now in terms of how are you looking at New England, Los Angeles Rams. If you have a concern, if you're the New England Patriots, what is your primary concern going up against the Rams?
Oh, it's easy. McDonald and Sue. I need to find a way to give Tom enough time to get the ball out. That's simple. For that offensive line, they're going to have their hands full.
See, this is the thing. When I think about Aaron Donald, I think about how, I don't want to say he was neutralized because so much about the game extends beyond numbers, and numbers don't tell the whole story.
Exactly.
But I think it's safe to say that when you look at Aaron Donald against the New Orleans Saints, for example, or particularly against the Dallas Cowboys, and Ndamukong Suh stole the show that game because of the pressure he applied up the middle, and obviously they were able to neutralize Ezekiel Elliott from running the football. But I think that had a lot to do with not having to worry too much about Dak Prescott throwing the football. Clearly, in the case of Tom Brady, you got to worry about him throwing the football. So my question to you would be this: Sony Michel, particularly, and to a lesser degree James White, how much damage do you think they could potentially do against the Rams, even before Tom Brady elects to throw the football?
Well, my thing is they're going to be doing the most damage from Tom Brady throwing them the ball, though. If it comes a point in time where they can't get down the field, the Patriots are known to take what you give them. If you're going to try and take away deep stuff, they're going to take the short stuff. If you want to take away the short stuff, they'll try and get to the intermediate stuff. It's just Belichick has a great understanding of what they're trying to do and what it is that he's going to have to do to make up for what they're taking away.
James Harrison right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. We haven't talked enough about Sean McVay, and the reason I bring that up, the coach for the Los Angeles Rams, is because throughout the last year or throughout the last 2 regular seasons, all you heard was Sean McVay, Sean McVay, Sean McVay, and what he brings to the table. Obviously, they lost their lone playoff game against the Atlanta Falcons last year. In this particular instance, they get to the Super Bowl by beating Dallas and then by beating New Orleans. But usually when we talk about the Rams and they're winning, we talk about Sean McVay. When we talk about them losing, we talk about somebody else. What about that matchup with Sean McVay going up against Bill Belichick? How do you foresee that happening?
To be honest with you, I feel like Belichick is the better coach. I don't think anybody would go against that. Sean is a young gun that's up and coming, but I feel like it's going to be a chess match, and I feel like the one that can come in, adjust to what is being done to them in the first and second quarter, the first half of the game, and come out and execute that will be the team that'll win.
James Harrison right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. When you look at the Rams, Jared Goff, how good do you think this guy is? And how big do you think he's ready for this kind of stage, considering the fact that not only is he in the Super Bowl, but a third-year quarterback is going up against Bill Belichick?
Yeah, I think he's ready. I mean, he obviously worked his way to get there. You know, up until the last few games of the playoffs, I was a little worried, but seeing how McVay adjusted to how he's using him and the things that he's doing to ensure that he plays a complete game, whether he's play action, handing the ball, or having to go and pass it down the field from start to finish. He's managed that and got him back to playing at the level that we've seen him play earlier in the year.
James Harrison right here with Stephen A. On behalf of Hardee's, by the way, talk to me about what you're doing with them during Super Bowl week, man.
Right now we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of my pick to the house, and we're doing that with a Biscuit to the House campaign. And if anyone in Sunday's game, either team, returns a biscuit to the house, Hardee's is going to give away free sausage biscuits on Friday, February 8th from 7A to 10P at 7A to 10A at all participating Hardee's locations.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We like that from Hardee's. Make no mistake
nice,
about
flaky,
that.
Made from scratch
absolutely.
Biscuits.
And we know you like to eat, but you like to work out too.
Exactly.
You like to work out too.
As soon as I get done with eating all these biscuits, man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and hit the treadmill for a good hour.
Do you still work out the way you used to when you played?
Oh yeah, I still work out hard. I actually just started my app. I just opened my app just yesterday. It's Debo Workouts. You go to Debo92.com. I'm sorry, www.debo92.com, and you register there and get your login information and all the workouts that I have done or am doing for almost 2.5-3 years. From start to finish. You start intermediate and you work your way up until you look something like me. You got the muscle, something. Steve, I could get you.
You got muscles
swole.
out your ears, man.
I get you.
You got muscles out your ears. You look swole. And by the way, James Harrison, let me dime you out by telling everybody how you scared the living hell out of me. And I spoke out of turn.
That was real, man.
I know that. I'm getting ready to tell everybody this story now. I spoke out of turn, y'all. I spoke out of turn, okay, because I didn't agree with something that James Harrison said about the league and in particular Roger Goodell. Well, damn it, me being all brave, I showed up to a Monday Night Football game with the Steelers at FedEx Field against the Washington Redskins. And I went by the locker room, and who was standing outside waiting for me? You know what I mean? This dude looked like, I said, Lord have mercy, what have I got myself into? I just want to, you remember that joke Martin Lawrence once told? He said if Mike Tyson was so vicious, Mike Tyson was the type of person that if you were with your woman and he did something to her, you'd roll up on her, whoa. What'd she do? You know what I'm saying? That's how James Harrison looked at me that night. But we ended up ironing it out. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah. We've been good since then. You don't understand how long I was looking for you after that. Before that, I'm like, they told me he here. I'm like, he here.
That's right.
I said, okay,
that's right.
I said, I gotta wait for him. We gotta talk.
That's right. Hey, but you got to give me credit for it. Most reporters don't show up. I did.
No question.
You didn't ask me to. I showed up on my own. I still don't know what the hell I was thinking about showing up, but I did show up. That's right. But listen, man, James Harrison, I'll let you go, man.
All right, now
Tom Brady. Yeah, absolutely. But hold on for a second.
Okay.
Tom Brady. We talk about this guy. Oh, he's got to go. I'm sorry, my bad. James, go ahead, man. Go because he's doing some stuff for Hardee's, ladies and gentlemen. Last question to you. Tom Brady, is he the greatest?
Greatest quarterback, yes.
Yeah. Ever? Without question.
Without question. You can't. Before, I actually watched and seen him, how he goes about his way of studying and getting ready for a game. I would have said, no. I'd have been like a Montana type of fan, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, it's him. I'm sorry, it's him. I'm not sorry.
I respect it coming from you, bro. I respect it coming from you. Thanks a lot, my man. All the best to you. I'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Oh, the one and only James Harrison right here with Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. This Sunday, ESPN Deportes is your home for Super Bowl 53 in Espanol. With Brady and Belichick win their 6th Super Bowl together, or will Jared Goff and Todd Gurley bring the Lombardi Trophy back to L.A.? It's Super Bowl 53 this Sunday in Spanish on ESPN Deportes. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to get it more into the Super Bowl. I really, really wish. I mean, I can't wait to talk. I like talking to the fans out there, too, you know, because I see people want to get at me and stuff like that. I ain't scared of y'all. None of y'all look like James Harrison except you. There's one guy right there look like James Harrison. Everybody else, y'all don't look like James Harrison. You, maybe a little bit Aaron Donald. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit. But you, that's James Harrison right there. I'm scared of y'all. But I'm still here. Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. More to come in a second. By the way, relationship tip number 1. It's not going to truly feel like a birthday, anniversary, or Valentine's unless there's roses involved. And this season, the biggest and best quality roses only found at 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can get a dozen assorted roses for $19.99 or upgrade to 2 dozen assorted roses for $10 more. To order a dozen assorted roses for $19.99 or upgrade to 2 dozen assorted roses for $10 more, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code Stephen A. Order today and save at 1-800-Flowers.com.
Yeah, for sure,
What's
man.
that about?
Obviously everybody wants a story. But yes, I did have a casual lunch with his agent, but his agent is great friends with my agent. So they were already outside, just having lunch by the pool. And I came out there, at the Pro Bowl, and, I was just chopping it up with them and talking about life, talking about football. But they blew up the story, basically trying to say, like, I just sat one-on-one with the agent, with his agent, and, trying to get Le'Veon to come. But it wasn't like that, man. It was just a casual lunch, and, we definitely had a great conversation.
Okay, having said all of that, Jamal, now I want to make sure I'm clear because you know me, I believe in the brothers getting
100%.
paid. And so I certainly don't want to compromise your money. There is no violation of NFL rules, for example, if you were talking to an agent. Let's say, for example, you did say to his agent, look, man, what about getting Le'Veon Bell in New York? You wouldn't be fined for that, would you?
No, listen, I definitely pitched it. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
Yeah. No, don't. Listen, Le'Veon Bell was definitely, he was brought up in the conversation. But it wasn't.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is the conversation wasn't just about him. You know what I mean? But I can tell you he definitely was brought up, and I said, hey man, we need to get him there. So hopefully we can do that and bring him in, and I think he'll help Sam out a lot.
I would be very, very. Listen, I'm a Steelers fan, even though I'm a Jamal Adams fan. But I would tell you, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't mind Le'Veon Bell in New York.
I wouldn't mind it either, brother.
It wouldn't bother me.
ESPN Plus is the streaming home for UFC and top-ranked boxing, featuring live and exclusive events, original content, and an extensive library of the greatest fights for only $4.99 a month. Simply download the ESPN app and tap on the ESPN Plus tab to start your 7-day free trial. The streaming service is also available on your computer at ESPN.com and via the ESPN app on TV-connected devices. Get ESPN Plus today via the ESPN app or ESPN.com.
I remember when I used to have my radio show from years ago, every time I sang, my producer would play wolf music. Whoa! Whatever it is. My voice is gone right now. Stephen A. Smith Show, right here with you on ESPN Radio, ESPN News, being brought to you by Uber. Uber Rewards is going to make you love Uber even more. Get all the info and terms at uber.com/rewards. Plus, ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, comparing rates to help you save. Call or click today and find out how much Progressive could save you. I'm coming at you live from the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta Convention Center, downtown right here, just a mile away, site of the Super Bowl 53 this Sunday night. New England Patriots going up against the Los Angeles Rams. On a basketball front, as if the news could not get worse for the New York Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis, who has not been healthy, who has not played just this season, whose health essentially holds the Knicks franchise in his hands, because what free agent is going to want to come to New York if Kristaps Porzingis can't be on the court? And this man, who has not played a shred of basketball this season after that nasty knee injury last year, met with Knicks management according to our own Adrian Wojnarowski, to inform them that he is not happy with the direction of the team. Duh! They keep losing. They've only won about 10 games. I mean, who the hell do they have? They don't have him. You drafted Kevin Knox out of Kentucky with the 9th overall pick. He's showing promise, but damn it, he's a rookie. And Donovan Mitchell, he is not. This kid Trier is a nice player, but nobody's going to confuse him with being D-Wade or somebody. I mean, the hits just keep coming. Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, New York, they've got a team that's respectable with enough cap space to potentially get 2 max players, which explains why I'm hearing that if Kawhi Leonard doesn't stay in Toronto, he might decide to come to Brooklyn, if not the Clippers. Kevin Durant may decide to stay in Golden State, but he might decide to come to New York. But who's to say it's the Knicks? Why come to the Knicks when you could go to the Nets? Kyrie Irving, if you believe those outside of his camp, because inside his camp they say he loves it, but outside of his camp they say he's looking to leave Boston, why would he come to New York if Porzingis doesn't want to be there? Lord have mercy. Knicks fan can't catch a break. I'll give you one. Hour number 2 up next.